In this video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step method that I used to hit my first 5K a month in my online coaching business. Now, 5K a month, I think, is a great goal for most of you starting your online coaching business. The reason for that is because 5K is a big enough goal to push you out your comfort zone, especially to begin with when you're first starting out. 5K is a big enough goal to push you out of your comfort zone because I would argue that it is more than most of you are earning in your 9-to-5 job. However, with that being said, it is also a comfortable enough goal that all of you can hit it. So I think 5K is that real fine balance, it's that real in-between stage. 5K is going to teach you a lot about your business, a lot about yourself, where you want to go with your business. So I think it's the perfect goal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through step by step how I hit my first 5K a month in my online coaching business. There's going to be a few slides to go with this. They're nothing exciting. They are more prompts for me, to be honest with you, on doing these longer form videos. It helps, but also for you guys, it's going to help and give you a visual reference, something to read through, which I always think helps, but they're not long, lengthy things that you've got to really pause the video to read through. This is going to be a video that you want to save. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button so that you can come back and rewatch it, because there's going to be things said in here where you're going to forget it, you're going to start implementing certain things, you're going to want to come back and watch it again. So that's enough waffle from me, and we'll kick straight off and jump straight into this video. So hitting your first 5K a month in your online coaching business is a big goal. It's a big goal, like we mentioned before, it's a big goal for many of you out there, but there's a big mistake, I think, to start things off. You want to start things off in the right way. A lot of you out there, like I did, you will be saying, how can I make 5K a month? How can I make 5K a month? How can I make 5K a month? And you're going to repeat that and you're going to think it and think it and think it. And it's the wrong way of thinking. In order to start growing your online coaching business, you really want to have your train of thought heading in the right direction. So you want to swap from saying, how can I make 5 grand a month, to saying, how can I serve enough people to make 5K a month? It's only a small change, but it's a big change. How can I serve enough people to make 5K a month? Because the reality is that's how you make money. You serve other people. You are serving them in order to get their money, and that's how you grow and build your business. So that's just a very small change I want you to make, but it's a change that makes a big, big difference. So as we come on to the first step here, well, this isn't the first step. This is just the pre-step, as we would call it. What we want to do is reverse engineer our business, yeah? So this is what we're going to do before we actually start on the main steps. Before we start actioning and running our business, we want to reverse engineer our business. And what do I mean by that? You want to make sure that you're building the business that's going to head in the direction that you want it to head in, that's going to hit the goals that you want it to hit. If you don't reverse engineer your business, you will build a business that you do not want, that you don't enjoy running, that takes up too much time. And I know this because I did it. And then about 1.5 years ago, I flipped my business, I changed everything around, and now I'm very fortunate to live the life that I do because I made these changes. So I know how important this is. So when it comes to reverse engineering your business, you know you want to make 5 grand a month. We can start there. And the steps that I've put here, they might be different for you depending on your business, but we're going to go through some generic steps here. 5 grand a month, we know that's what we want to hit. Okay, how many clients do I want to be working with when I hit that 5K a month? Once we know how many clients we want to be working with, we then know roughly how many hours it's going to take us to run that business. And from that point, we can figure out what we need to be charging with our specific service in order to hit that 5K, yeah? Once we've got that number all set down, we know how many people we need, we know how many hours it's gonna take, we know what we're gonna be charging. Okay, how many leads do we need to bring in, and how much content do we need to create in order to bring those leads in? And you can see it funnels back up again to back to that 5K. So you wanna sit down, pen and paper, and work out all of these things. Reverse engineer your business. Picture yourself in 6 months, a year's time with a 5K a month online coaching business, and think, what do I want it to look like? What would my ideal client be? All of those things. Reverse engineer it, then you know you're always on the right path. There isn't a right answer when it comes to choosing your price and how many clients. There isn't a right answer, and I've put some options down here, just some plain examples. You know, £500 offer, you need 10 clients. The maths is very simple. I'm sure many of you sat there with a calculator working most of this out. You know, an option of £1,000, you only need 5 clients. An option of £200 a month, like a recurring revenue, you only need 25 paying members every single month in order to hit that 5K a month. So there's no right or wrong answer. However, if you're trying to hit your first 5K, I would argue that most of you don't have a large following because you're trying to hit that first 5K. The easiest way to do that, and the way that I did that, was with a higher ticket coaching product. So for me, I was in dog training. Dog training isn't high. When we say high ticket in dog training, it's not like what a personal trainer might charge or a life coach and things like that. It's a little bit less. But high ticket is high ticket for your niche and your business. So I would opt for a higher ticket. Don't go crazy. Don't be charging $5,000 a month or something like that if you're not ready to do that, if you've not got the expertise to do that. Pick a number that's comfortable for you, pushes you a little bit out your comfort zone, and is going to make sure that you don't need 200 people in order to hit that $5,000 a month. We don't want to be working with hundreds of clients, not initially, because it's going to be very difficult for you to manage. You're not going to have the following or the audience or the trust in order to hit those numbers, which means you won't hit the 5K. So opt for a higher ticket model, work with less clients. That would be my first piece of advice when it comes to choosing your price point and your services. So then that brings us on to step one. Step one. This is the step that gets missed by many coaches. You don't hear a lot of people talking about this, and it is something that is the most important thing, and that is to become great at the thing you want to teach people, the thing you want to charge for. Become an expert. Go away for 6 months, do some free sessions, work with some free clients, learn as much as you possibly can, immerse yourself in your thing, become an expert. That's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Yeah, a whole lot easier. And that is the most crucial step, because people don't wake up, like I've said here, people don't wake up and think, I want to pay for a coach. Oh, I want to buy a coach today. They wake up and they think, I'm sick of specific problem. I need someone to help me with this. So take personal training. People don't wake up and think, I want to hire a personal trainer today. People wake up and think, I'm sick of being fat. I'm sick of not being able to put my socks on in the morning. I need to do something about this. People pay for outcomes. And the only way you can get those outcomes for people is if you are good at the thing you are teaching. Yeah. So that is the step number one. That's the step that gets missed by most people. The next one is kind of the meat of it all, and that is building trust. You can't sell anything if nobody trusts you. You've got to build trust, okay? This is something that I did from the very beginning, and I'm grateful that I did from the very beginning. How do you build trust? I am a big fan of giving everything away. So that sounds counterproductive, but I promise you it isn't. I give everything away. I do reels, I do stories, everything, my posts, they give value to clients. Or not even clients at this point, they're just followers. They're just not even followers, they're people that are just watching your reels. I give value, I give real life value. So if you're a personal trainer, give people programs for free. Give them an example full body workout, a 6-week plan, a 6-week fat loss plan. Do it as a series on Instagram. That's going to get people to trust you. People are going to try your free stuff from Instagram, go, actually, this is working. I'm enjoying this. I like this guy. I'm going to see what else they offer. They then become a lead, and a lead becomes a paying client. So for me, be friendly, be funny, add some personality to it. Don't be afraid to say what you think. Yeah, don't sit on the fence on things. Say what you think. If you are one camp and there is another camp who's this direction and you're that direction, say what you think, because opinions get views. So don't be afraid to give your opinion. But for me, step 2 is build trust, and that's going to come through your content, your short form, your long form content. That's where you're going to build trust with potential leads, and you're going to get people to follow you, and you're going to build leads and trust, and it spirals from there. Step number 3 is to build an email list. This is something that I wish I did sooner. I didn't do this in the beginning of my online coaching business, and I regret it massively. Now we do have an email list now. We have an email list of thousands of people now. But I think to myself every day how much bigger it could have been. The vast majority of my sales come from my email list. I build my trust through my social media. Then they lead into my lead funnel, which again is a free giveaway. My lead funnels are giveaways. They are full 15, 20-minute training videos that most coaches charge for. I give them away for free. Give them away for free. But in return, you give me your email address. I then nurture people in that email sequence, and then people buy. I make more sales from my email list than anything else. Anything else, by far, I would say. We make a fair few sales, obviously, from social media, but my email list is everything. And you own your email list. You can be cancelled off social media at any point. Your account can be hacked. You can be shut down for many reasons. We all know this. Your email list is yours. You own it. So if you lost everything, if I lost all of my social medias tomorrow, I still have an email list of thousands of people as potential customers. But to make 5K a month, you don't need thousands of people. Like we mentioned before, you're going to have a higher ticket option, only working with fewer people. You don't need thousands of people. You only need 40, 50 people on your email list, 100, 200 on your email list, which is very, very achievable, by the way, to earn that 5K a month. So building your email list, you're going to use an email provider. There are lots of them out there. If you're using something like Kajabi already or Uscreens, they have built-in email systems. There's obviously things like MailChimp is the most known one. There's MailerLite. There is loads out there. Do your research. Find which one works best for you, your product, your service. But you're just going to collect emails. As you're building trust, you're going to start collecting emails from people and you're going to start emailing people. Email them once a week. That's all it needs to be. You don't have to spam people. You don't have to be emailing them, 2-3 times a day. Like I'm sure a lot of you out there get emails. I do 2-3 times a day. Once a week is absolutely fine. Once a week is manageable. It's attainable and it's something that you can be consistent with, and that's really important. And in your emails, you give value again. You give extra tips and tricks. You tell stories. You say what you've been doing, mistakes you've made. You capture people's interest and you put your call to action in there. You tell people how they can work with you, why they should work with you, and all of those things. And that's how we start to use our email. So just once a week, that's what I would recommend. That's what I started with. I email people now on my email list around 2 to 3 times a week. So even I do not do it that much. That's purely a volume thing because of how much we've grown. But 5K a month, once a week is absolutely fine. Number 4, like we mentioned earlier, you're going to have a higher ticket option. The trap you're going to fall into is watching lots of social media and you're going to think that you need a membership and a coaching product and you probably should be selling some form of PDF or download and you should probably do courses and all of these things. Now, I'm not saying you can't do these later on down the line, but what I'm saying is they shouldn't be your priority. Have one good offer that solves your ideal client's problem. That is all you need. That is all I had to hit my first 5K. I had one offer, that was it. And I worked with specific clients and I served a specific problem. And that one offer took me further than 5K a month. It took me closer to 10K a month before I added my second service. And you don't even have to add a second service at all. I know of coaches who are doing 30 to 50K a month with just one offer. Just one offer. Makes your life a lot easier because you've only got to run one offer. You're only servicing one group of clients. When people ask how they can work with you, it's very clear. It creates a frictionless sales process. If you go on someone's page, and I'm sure you have, I've done this, and they have 13 different offers, you don't know which one to pick. It creates friction, which then makes people like me less likely to buy your stuff because I don't know what I'm buying now. There's too much on here. And it's all labeled out in weird ways and called mastermind and this and that. And it's a mess. One very clear offer to one very clear audience. That is all you need. And that will take you further than 5K, much further. Step 5 is to deliver more than they expect. When you've got people in and you are servicing those clients, give them more value than they have paid for. That is a big key, and we're going to come on and talk about why that's a big key. You give them more than they have paid for. You add little extras. Yeah, maybe, for example, your service includes one check-in a week. You're a PT or something like that. One check-in a week, yeah? Then maybe randomly every other week on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, you jump on midweek, just checking in, mate. I was answering some messages, just wanted to make sure you're okay. You add an extra check-in for them. To you, it was nothing. Really simple, really easy to do. But to that client, they go, oh yeah, cool. I wasn't expecting that. Nice one. Or you've created a new piece of content and a new idea or a new course. And you say, hey, look, mate, I just thought you'd really like this. I'm going to send it over to you for free. They're going to remember that. Those things stick in their mind, yeah? Because what that does is, like I've written down here, is it creates fantastic testimonials, it creates great referrals, amazing reviews, and that creates repeat business, creates a flywheel. And it's a flywheel that once you start, it's very difficult to stop, which is a good thing. So the feedback flywheel is a very simple thing. You create your content, that then builds trust, like we've said here. From that trust, you can generate leads, and from those leads, you make sales. Once you've made sales, you get people in, you deliver an amazing service. That creates the testimonials and the reviews that we were talking about. Those testimonials and those reviews build more trust. When posted on your socials, build a lot more trust with people who are already warming up to you because they can see that you're delivering what you're saying you deliver. What happens then, because you're building so much trust from those testimonials, that feeds back into where it says build trust, which builds more leads, which makes more sales, which then makes you get to deliver your service even better, which creates better testimonials, which then builds more trust, which generates more leads. And you can see it creates that flywheel effect. And once that flywheel effect is going, it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. It's a little bit slow to get going. You've got to get over that inertia. You've got to build your first load of reviews coming in and start feeding them into your socials. But once you've done it, it has a big, big impact on your business. So what would I actually do? If I was in your seat now, having listened to all the waffle that I've just said, what would I actually do? I would post one long form piece of content every week. Just one. That can be on YouTube. It could be a podcast. I would prefer something like YouTube, something visual. YouTube is such a big platform now. That is what I would opt for. I would post around 3 reels per week. Now you're going to say, Jack, that's not a lot. Gary Vee's telling me I should post 7 times a day. Don't try and compete on volume, not in the early days. I would argue if you're under the 5K mark, a lot of you may still be working your 9-to-5 job. You've not got the time that these other creators have. So create 3 good quality pieces of content that talk to your ideal client about their ideal pain point, builds trust and solves problems. I can tell you from my expertise and from my knowledge, I have had times when I've spammed out a lot of content. And then I've had times when I've actually slowed right back and only put out 2 pieces of content a week, but really thought about them, put the time and effort into them and made sure that they're good and they perform far better. Far, far better than just spamming out content for the sake of content. I'm not saying you have to spend hours creating your content. For me, one of those reels that was really good, took me 5-10 minutes to sit down and think about it. Maybe took me a couple of minutes to film it and then 5 minutes to edit it. But rather than just putting out content for content's sake, think about it. Put out decent content. So I'd do 3 Instagram reels per week and I would send 1 email a week. On top of that, every single day I would post on my stories. Yeah? Post on my stories every single day because that's super easy. It could be what you're doing, you at work, you just doing the thing that you're talking about, a little bit of behind the scenes, things like that. I would focus on delivering a great service for the clients that are already in my business. I would answer any comments, any questions, any messages that I get, and I would answer them very promptly. Yeah, I've had numerous clients who have come to me to work with me, have become paying clients, all because I answered them first. All because they messaged me and 3 other coaches on Instagram, and I answered them first. So be prompt as you can be. Obviously, lives are busy, you've got kids, maybe you've got jobs, things like that. And then refine your offer every day. And what I mean by refine your offer is you're working with the clients, see what's working, what's not working. Sit down at the end of the day for 5 minutes, pen and paper, and just analyze what's gone well that day. Because that feedback's going to make your service and your business much, much better. So my final thoughts. Like I've said, your first 5K a month isn't built by going viral. It's not. It's built by getting a small group of people who trust you, know you, to pay you a higher ticket amount of money and to deliver an amazing service, to collect amazing testimonials and to feed that back into your business. So to recap on everything really, we like to keep it simple. I like to keep it simple. You don't want the business to take over your life. You're simply going to reverse engineer your business. Think about what you want your business to look like. You're going to reverse engineer it. You're going to decide on your service. You're going to decide on your price point, how many clients you want to work with. You're then simply going to start putting out content regularly. Not much, like I've said, 1 YouTube a week, 3 Instagram reels a week and a story every day. Really, really, really easy stuff that is. That's really simple to do. Doesn't take too much time, but you're going to do that consistently over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 weeks, 6 months. You're going to do it consistently. I've been doing it now for the last 4 years. So you want to be as consistent as that. Keep churning it out. That's going to build the trust that you need, yeah? That's going to build everything that you need. And you're going to start to collect people in an email list, yeah? You're going to offer them something. It might be that your email list means that they get access to a free 30-day, whatever it is. If you're a PT, 30-day fat loss booklet, spreadsheet, PDF, whatever it is. Give them something in order to get their email. You're going to start collecting those emails. You're going to send one email a week, and in that email, you're going to give value and you're going to sell. That might mean booking people onto sales calls. It might mean that you sell via your website and landing pages. There are many ways of doing this. I have my preferences. You will have your preferences, and I will definitely do another video talking about my preferences and why they are my preferences. And you get people in, you deliver an amazing result, you deliver a great service, and then they give you great feedback. Make sure you get feedback from them, and you then deliver that back to the top of the funnel, back to your social media to create more leads, build more trust, to then get more people on the email list, create more sales. And you can see how it all just links round together. Keep it simple. So like I said, you're probably gonna want to save this video, subscribe and hit the follow button because we've got lots more coming. I'm gonna be telling you stuff that I've done in my business, mistakes I've made, tips I've found out, things that I know works to hit certain figures. Yeah, so make sure you hit the follow button, subscribe button, not follow, we're not on Instagram. Subscribe button. Make sure you save it. And the link to join my email list is in the caption below, is in the description below. So jump in there, join my email list, and we're going to be giving away lots of free stuff in there.